I'd already made the M1911 video, and I was in the process of making the Rat video, and as I wrote the script, as I had it all together, I began to realise it was very copy and paste from the M1911 video, so that got me thinking, how similar are these guns, and are there any differences, and if so, what are they? So, guys, exactly that's going to be happening in this video. We're going to be comparing the two in the first episode of the Versus series for Vanguard. But before we do that, let's show you the two builds that we're going to be taking a base from today. So before we break down the stats, we will show you the weapons. So the M1911 has been ran in what we call the Short Russian build. Link to that video is here. But what you need to know is that it has these attachments on. This is by far the most lethal version of this gun that you can have. We're using the Gracie Short, the 30 Russian Short mags. And yeah, it's looking good. So in contrast to that, we are going to be using the Empress of Vermin build, which again is what I think is the strongest version of this weapon. Now I am using the Empress instead of the Zac barrel. Now there is damage differences here. The reason that we're not using the Zac barrel is because that range only gives you high damage for up to 6 meters, which is, to be honest, absolutely pathetic. Now I'll be rocking that in a similar build, rapid trigger, rocking it with its .45 ACP rounds, and most of the other stuff is similar, if not the same. Rocking for a stabilizer on this particular build instead of a suppressor. That's just down to personal choice. So with that being said, let's get right into the stats and break it down. Yeah, so as I mentioned before there, these pistols are very similar, and the builds that we're showing you today are going to be the highest damage per second variants of both of these weapons. So we're going to start off with the damage per shot, the flat damage, not including any multipliers. The flat damage on the M1911 is going to come in at 68 on the Short Russian build, which is ridiculously high. Yep, that will 2-tap. You got that right. It'll absolutely decimate whatever you shoot at with it. And then coming in for the Rat is a respectable 48. Now yes, technically this should be 3 shots to kill. However, there is a body multiplier on there, which will give you more often than not 2 hit kills within its range. But we'll get to that in a second, the range. The crit is going to be 60 on the Short Russian, which is actually technically less than the M19 normal rounds, so it's a bit weird. And then on the Rat, it's going to be 49, only a slight increase there. So yeah, I don't know if that crit damage is better on the M1911, but yeah, whatever. Rate of fire on the Short Russian M1911 is going to be 382 rounds per minute, which is respectable for a pistol, compared to the 402 rounds per minute on the Rat Empress build, which again, these are decent numbers for pistols. Not the fastest firing, but good all the same. Next we're going to talk about is the range. Now the range on the M1911 is going to come in on this build at 19 meters. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but bear in mind that it is a pistol, and that is typical SMG territory. Actually, it's probably a little further than most SMGs typically, so yeah, it's a good range. But with the M19, the range on there doesn't really going to count for us, because in multiplayer at least, you're still going to be 2-tapping even into the Rat's really high 41 meters. So though you see 41 meters on the Rat, don't be deterred and think that makes it miles better, because the M19 still 2-tapping past that range anyway. The next thing I want to talk about briefly is the hip fire. Very similar, 5.5 on the M19, and it is going to be 5.2 on the Rat, so slight advantage there for the Rat. And then we're going to talk about the mag size. Now for mags these small, this is a big advantage for the Rat, because the Short Russian is going to come in at 8 mags for this build, which is the only build you should be rocking. And you can't really sub it out, because this mag is the build along with its barrel. And then with the Rat, a similar case, it's 9. So yeah, that extra bullet is worth having on the Rat, you know, just in case you missed that shot. So yep, just so you know. And let's talk about the reload speeds. The reload speeds on the Short Russian is going to be 2.1 seconds, which it's okay. That is actually quite a long reload for a pistol. And then we are going to have on the Rat 1.8. Again, a little bit on the longer side for a pistol, but you know, for the damage that you're doing, you can't really complain. Now, I do want to talk about the time to kill numbers. We're going to have this number for both Vanguard and Warzone. So in Vanguard, it's going to be coming in on the M19 at 157 milliseconds, which is 2 shots. I'm just going to put this into perspective for you guys. This is close to being like meta if more people picked it up and more people mained it. You can main this at that time to kill. You can put away your primary at this time to kill. And the fact you've got it at pretty much any range that you're going to need it, this is ridiculous damage. Compare that to the 298 milliseconds multiplayer time to kill on the Rat, and you're looking at something truly incredible. Now, I did mention that you do have body shots that you can work with a slight multiplier. That will give you 149 milliseconds with body shots on the Rat. So that is a slight improvement, very slight. It's a frame, if that. So you're barely going to notice it. Now, for me, with that on multiplayer, I would rather have the M19 just for those consistent 2 shots. Because if you do need that 3rd shot, you're nearly doubling your time to kill, which is a bit weird. Yeah, I know, but there you go. The numbers don't lie. And then we're going to talk about the Warzone numbers. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And by a little bit, I mean ridiculously interesting. So, Warzone, time to kill, Short Russian M1911. It's going to come in at 471 milliseconds if the damage remains the same. That is ridiculous. Now, if the damage doesn't remain the same for whatever reason, I will let you know in the comment section and pin the comment. But otherwise, if you don't see a pinned comment regarding it, that damage sticks. That damage sticks. Holy hell. That is a quick time to kill. Just for perspective, that's going to kill quicker than an FAL. That's going to kill quicker than most of the ARs in the game in its range. And it's going to kill faster than a lot of SMGs. That is a really, really quick time to kill for Warzone. And to put that into shots to kill, it's 4. 4 body shots to kill. That is ridiculous. Combine that with the hollow points I've mentioned earlier, you're going to be absolutely laughing with this build. 4 shots to kill. Wow. I know I've spoken about it for nearly 40 seconds, 50 seconds. That's ridiculous. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, compare that to the Rat, which is going to come in at 746 milliseconds, which is 6 shots. And it's still going to be... that's counting if you hit everything to the body. That's counting quite a lot of variables, actually. So, yeah, not 100% comfortable actually recommending the Rat for Warzone, but that Empress build, I made a video about how the Closer should be the pistol of choice, but looking at these numbers a bit more in depth, I've got a lot of thinking to do, because it looks like it's going to be Closer versus the M1911, but that's just something for us to bear in mind. We'll take that in the next one. The next video in the Versus series is going to be the Closer versus Top Break. Sorry if my audio went a bit weird there, so I went to have a little look at my whiteboard just to double check. But yeah, that's going to be a really interesting video. Now, a couple of things I do want to mention, just to wrap up, is that body will be harder to hit at that 41-meter range for the Rat for it to count as a 2-hit kill. However, past that range, as mentioned, the M19 will be 2-tapping consistently. So that's just ridiculous. The M1911 is looking like a Warzone monster. And with that, I'm happy to actually declare the M1911 Short Russian the Sidearm champion for Pre-Season 1 multiplayer. We are not going to give that award for Warzone yet. However, once we do the Closer versus M1911, both of their highest damage builds, highest damage percent builds, we will then maybe be handing out the Warzone Sidearm Champion Pre-Season 1 award. But for now, my god, get this pistol out in multiplayer, because multiplayer, this pistol is miles better than the Closer. Warzone, we'll discuss it another day. But guys, that's going to wrap this particular video up. Sorry there wasn't any closed captions on this one, but we did have pretty numbers on screen, didn't we? So there's always that. But yeah, these videos are a bit more off the cuff, just looking at the numbers, talking about the numbers, a bit less scripted, which makes up for the production time that I actually use a lot more of in the editing process as opposed to the writing process, like the videos you've been seeing lately. So yeah, with that being said, we will conclude the video then. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button below and consider subscribing if you're new here. And yeah, I want to know what you think about these pistols in the comment section below. I'll see you there. Peace.
I need 2 more than I've got, Doug.
I can't believe I got a 3 chain on dogs. Lol.
Oh, the
Bye.
oh, airspace too crowded.
Have you learned from that mistake?
Oh, I was one off dogs. I'm still one off dogs.
God damn it! Ah, what a game.